and what they will be.
What
What is
was,
this,
what is, and what shall be.
what is this, a Christmas Carol?
They were 358th in her hoop stats rating last year and 0-26, so this is indeed a boost.
Mid-major coach of the year candidate.
Go Cougars.
Always. That dog
Welcome,
agrees.
welcome back. Today on the show, we're gonna rank every single one of our college basketball championship contenders. We'll also talk about Marina Mabrey. Apparently, she is staying in Connecticut for whatever reason. They're gonna try to make the playoffs in
I'm going to be honest.
2025.
I thought given the Chicago State commentary, you were going to say we're going to rank every team in the country.
We're gonna rank every single Division One basketball team. Top 25? No, top 350.
Join us next week. That's our goal next week. We'll rank them all next week. Let's get right into it.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome. You are Locked On Women's Basketball. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet at FanDuel. My name's Hunter Cruse. I am your Saturday host covering the WNBA draft and prospect scouting. Today, I'm joined by co-hosts Emily Adler and Lincoln Shafer. Emily covers the draft with a focus on player development and the game within the game. Lincoln also contributes to our draft coverage here at The Next and Locked On Women's Basketball. To kick it off in segment one, we're at a pretty wide open place this season. Compared to last season, South Carolina was a clear favorite. This season, though, we've seen some parity at the top. We've seen so many teams up and down the rankings, but the AP Top 25 is the most recency bias thing of all time. So, where are we at currently? Who would you say is your favorite as of February 21st as we record this video?
That is a very good question.
If we don't get a UCLA Notre Dame game, it'll be a disappointing March Madness, to be quite honest. Like, we deserve this. I don't care what else happens.
Yeah. If we end up in a place where Hannah Hidalgo, Olivia Miles, and Sonia Citron are all shooting 40% from three or better, I think they have to be the favorite. Because Notre Dame just does too many other things that are.
Assuming they don't find a way
very
to tear
difficult
three
to guard.
ACLs between now and then, which is, given their history, always possible.
Yeah, that's I don't like that. But yeah, it's kind of Notre Dame and UCLA for me right now. UCLA kind of has the same argument that South Carolina had last year: depth, defense, some creation, and the
Tallest
best
player on the court.
Yeah, interior presence. If you build the boat from Lauren Betts touching the ball at the rim, good things are going to happen for your offense, and they have so much depth and so many good players.
You've been describing both the UCLA roster construction and the Russian defenses at the Battle of Kursk.
Yeah.
Are you in agreement there? Emily? Are you there with UCLA or Notre Dame as your favorite right now?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I want to see them play, right? Because, I mean, not only are they the two best teams in the country pretty solidly, but they're also they're just different enough in ways that I think makes for a really fun game. And not just in hey, dump it into Lauren Betts, she'll get 25 and 15 or whatever. Because look, what's her name? Kate Koval, is historically awful at getting the ball on the rim, despite how easy her looks are. But she can defend. They can hold up there. UCLA's guard defenses are, aside from Kiki Rice, they're not going to blow the world away. But highly competitive enough to make that an interesting matchup. Obviously, we've already seen UConn Notre Dame. Give me UConn UCLA along the way, please. And I think that's probably the three teams that I could see winning a title or winning the title. Obviously, anyone can go on a heater. USC just beat UCLA, obviously, but it feels a little difficult to imagine that USC can get enough out of everyone who's not named Juju Watkins.
USC
what is it,
and
6
Texas
times in a
are
row?
in a similar spot for me. USC and Texas.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is as Texas does. Vic Shafer teams are as Vic Shafer teams do.
I mean,
They
you could
can't
have a
score enough.
Rory Harmon, Morgan William run and make it to another national championship game. I think there's like maybe 5 teams for me that I think could win the title right now. UCLA and Notre Dame are the top tier for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then UConn, who has maybe the best player in the country and probably the best freshman in the country, if they're both on and if they can
What do you
find
mean,
ways
probably the
to.
best freshman?
I mean, yeah, she's been the best freshman. If you wanted to make an argument for someone else, I'd maybe hear
Caleb
it
Blakes
out.
has dropped 50 twice.
That is true. Michaela Blakes is putting up
Yeah.
historic scoring numbers.
But that's
That's fair
but
point.
Sarah Strong is just way more well-rounded. So that's
Yeah,
She's
but if
one of
you
the best prospects of all time.
yeah.
when you put together the lineup, some of the lineups that UConn can put together, my personal favorite
Yet refuses to.
that they ran out and went on like a 20-0 run against South Carolina last week was AZ Fudd, Ashlyn Shade, Sarah Strong, KK Arnold, and Paige Beckers ran from the end of the first quarter to the middle of the second quarter, went on like a 22-3 run and put that game out of reach. That is a very, very dangerous lineup. And then both USCs to me are still kind of in title contention because Juju could do anything and beat anyone by herself.
That took me a
And
second.
South Carolina still has the best defense in the country and still has like 9 rotation players that won a title before. Maybe Tessa Johnson turns it on in the tournament again. I don't feel comfortable counting them out at this point.
Yeah, maybe Malaysia Fulwiley is suddenly like good again. Like
Her
really,
defense
you
is
just need 2 players to go on a heater.
sometimes really annoying.
Ugh.
She's,
we can
she's
talk about
either
that some
making
other
the
time.
biggest play of all time, like a block, a major steal, or like just blowing assignment after assignment.
She's the first player who's this level of talent who I've seen in however many years I've been watching basketball and however many years of basketball I've been watching, who's gotten less disciplined and worse at the mental aspect of the game from a freshman to sophomore year.
Yeah, she looks worse this season.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
pretty night and day.
It's tough.
Makes me
I
sad.
personally think there's 7 teams that I would say have like more than a 1% chance. More than a 1%
sure.
chance because like
Yeah.
Ohio State,
I think
no
Vegas
shot.
figured that out.
UNC, no shot. TCU's defense is too atrocious. Duke, no. None of those teams. But I
hope
think
Duke, no. Jesus.
LSU has the shot making. Do I think they have what it takes to win a championship? Probably not.
I mean, you just need one of Cheyenne Day Wilson, Kaylin Gilbert, Miracle Shepard, Michaela Williams to just turn it on.
Or just a
I
crazy,
mean, you also
like,
need to hope the other team doesn't like score normally for a while.
Yeah,
you also need like,
Like
the
3
best
weeks in a
draw.
row.
The best draw possible.
No.
yeah. I struggle to see how LSU's interior defense could deal
Yeah.
with 4 top 15 teams in a row. But if they get like if you
And
get, like, an
exterior
11
defense,
seed,
to be honest.
I mean, yeah,
But yeah.
I'm more worried about their rim defense.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
It's
agreed.
bad.
It's so bad, dude.
I would probably go UCLA 1 just because the Lauren Betts factor, and I'm kind of a little bit concerned about freshman center that just can be play off the court offensively. And Leah King's fun.
for sure.
And then you just
Leah King's fun,
put Maddie
but
Westfeld
she's-
at the 5.
Yeah, I would say those 2 teams.
It worked
Well,
it worked so well 4 years ago.
I would go UConn at 3, South Carolina, Texas, LSU.
Sure.
So any of those
Good for
teams,
everyone.
Yep.
it's
Those are
it's what
the
it's
7 best teams, probably.
in like a crazy like tier drop off from there. So
Are there
let's
other
get to our
teams?
Tennessee,
No.
NC State,
God no.
Alabama.
OU.
Actually, I
If
could see NC State doing it. I could see NC State doing that.
Healthy.
It's-
Can Kansas State
but
get
It's
3
literally just
weeks
like
of
playing
healthy?
Russian roulette
Yeah.
with NC State.
Can Kansas State get a healthy Aoka Lee and make a Final Four? Maybe.
Maryland.
I'm not sure I see it with Maryland.
Not anymore.
Yeah, the bigs are struggling
They
recently.
They really miss Bree.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. let's get to our first ad break, then come back and talk about the Connecticut Sun, who have been doing some stuff this offseason. Very new team, new basketball team they have in Uncasville. So let's do our first ad break. Thanks to Dash Pass, every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you can score a huge deal the next day. It's simple. When a player scores 50 or more points in a game during the 24-25 NBA season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. After an epic 50-day performance, celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, or burgers from your favorite spot, delivered straight to your door. Sign up for Dash Pass and get ready to save. When any player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members can get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. All right, to get into segment 2 here with the Connecticut Sun. Connecticut this offseason has lost more talent than we've ever seen a team lose after making a playoff berth. They lost their head coach. They lost their entire starting lineup. They have Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles, Natasha Cloud, Diamond DeShields, Layla Khan's there. They have...
And a whole bunch of backup guards.
JC Sheldon and like 4 players from Europe that also...
I'm looking through their cap sheet and trying to go through a starting lineup. They have like 6 guards. They
won't trade Natasha Cloud. She's worth like 5 first-round picks apparently.
Like right now, their depth chart looks something like Cloud, Mabrey. Like, do you play Layla Khan at the 3? I guess.
And
didn't I write this out somewhere? Didn't I literally write this article?
Yeah, you wrote that article. Yeah.
Yeah, but their depth chart is so strange. I guess you
wrote it before Mabrey. You thought Mabrey would be off the roster though, I think.
Yeah, I thought they wouldn't be complete and utter morons.
Maybe Robin Parks can give you some minutes.
Why did I ever put any amount of faith in the competence of Jen Rosati? That's never worked before.
They have like 4 backup point guards because they have Yvonne Anderson now, Lindsay Allen.
She's gonna start at the 2. Lindsay Allen's gonna back up the 1.
So where's the minutes for your 2 actual young players?
Wait, Lincoln, what'd you... Oh, yeah, Marina's definitely going to start. Marina's going to start at the 3. Diamond probably comes off the bench.
And then you have the 2 French league players they just signed, Amy Okonkwo and Kariatu Diaby.
Are they going to make the roster?
Maybe. Okonkwo is 6'2" and shooting 46% from 3 on 5 attempts per game this season. So,
what?
Yeah.
The jumper's funky though.
She had a great run at the Olympics for Team Nigeria.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
50, 40, 90 pretty much. And
yeah, she's shooting like 49, 46, 92. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So she's the best offensive power forward on the roster.
I mean, Tina Charles is a power forward at this point.
Yes, Lincoln, thank you for explaining my joke out loud.
Yeah, this is such a... They don't have any forwards. They just have a whole bunch of guards and a couple of centers.
I mean, Diamond DeShields is a wing. Lily Khan's going to play the 3 for them. They have Robin Parks.
They have a whole bunch of guards and a couple centers.
Robin Parks is a backup shooter on the forward spot.
Yeah.
What's bothering me most about this whole thing...
What a funky team.
It's
the one thing that's bothering you?
The most.
Okay.
Is... I think it's just everything they've said publicly. Like, why are you saying all of this publicly? What do you gain? I don't understand what you gain from any of that publicly. Is
inflated egos.
And then the process publicly doesn't even make any sense. Like, if you're gonna,
it's the same process that they're doing behind it's not incongruent. It's the same process that they're trying to do. They're just not smart.
This feels like
they're not trying to rebuild, but the issue is they don't actually have a choice.
They think they can make the playoffs and be competitive with MVP Tina Charles. Like, she's gonna
15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the version of Kara Lawson that shot 45, 80, scored 15 points a game, sure, maybe we can do that again.
Their ceiling isn't even making
No,
the
they have
playoffs.
Natasha Cloud.
In the best case, they're like a 9 seed, I think. In the
Yeah,
very
I could see a
I think they could
7
make a
seed,
push.
but it'd be
yeah,
very
for like
painful.
this,
It'd be very
a
painful.
7 seed, and then you lose each of your 2 playoff games by 30 points, and you go home sad.
Yeah.
I would take every team over them. I
That'd be going out like Sanchero.
maybe take Golden State over them. I think it's possible. They're better.
I would.
If Marina comes in disgruntled and just like does not care whatsoever and is just out there messing around, and then Tina's just doing whatever, and then Tasha Cloud doesn't care, like
Tosh Cloud starts at the 4.
she's guarding everybody.
You're gonna guard 4s again.
This is a very gruntled team.
Yeah.
Also, they
It
have
really feels-
They have one playable center. I mean, Tina is really a center that coaches have been trying to play at the 4 for her entire career, and it's not but they have one non-Tina center on the roster, and it's someone who's going to foul out in 18 minutes every game.
That's what Caitlin Bickle is for.
Also fouling out in 18 minutes a game.
Yeah, and then you only need 4 extra minutes of play from somebody else to cover the center spot.
Nope,
Natasha
I need
Cloud.
40
Samara on the
minutes,
team already.
12 fouls, make it work. This really feels like one of these guards has to be on the move. Like, there's just not room.
They
They
won't
turned
move
down
them,
two. They
though.
turned down 2
Play.
first-round picks for
They turned down 2
non-All-Star.
first-round picks for Natasha Cloud, and they refused to consider trading Marina Mabrey because they're trying to do some sort of like parental lesson here.
If
I
you
really don't understand what's going on with this team.
if you were a New York fan and you heard they gave up number 7 in this draft for Cloud, what would you think? Would it be like a fair deal?
If it was just
I'd
number
be-
7 for Cloud, I'd be totally fine with that.
Yeah,
Like,
Cloud
it's the
would
best roster in the
fit
country.
really well for this New York team.
Then you
Yeah.
add in a second
It's like the
first-round
one team
pick,
that can make up for her complete piss poor lack of shooting.
which like I guess that they don't think next year's draft will be good at number 12, but I mean, I don't know.
Which it probably won't.
But you're still getting 2 picks in the first round when you have very few young players in your roster, and the 2 you have are guards.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you, and I probably wouldn't make that exact deal myself. But if you look at this from the perspective of, look, this is the best roster in the WNBA by a wide margin, and the one thing that they don't have right now is a sort
Point
of
of attack defender.
not only a point of attack. I guess 2 things: point of attack defender and a way to spell Seb at the 1 to move her off the ball for some different looks. They don't have the ability and anyone
Right.
to lead a sort of bench unit, which you don't need, but it's really nice in the regular season, especially to give her some spell.
Mhm.
You would solve both of those issues at once here, and you would make it very difficult to sort of oppose that starting lineup as it comes out, but also it would give them a lot of versatility. Again, I don't know if I would like the value there, but in terms of sort of the marginal utility of like young talent 3 years from now versus having a decent, if not great, upgrade right now, it's the only time it favors the latter.
Right, adding a good WNBA player
I
at
sound
a
like a dork.
position where you need depth is always going to be a big help for a playoff team.
Yeah,
Thank you for managing to say the absolute dorkiest thing I've ever said in normal English.
I'm fine for New York, but like if I'm Connecticut and I get 2 first-round picks, I would be happy. I don't know. You're drafting
Absolutely.
7 and 8. You get to pick whoever you want there. Just draft your 2
You
favorite
can
players on the
package
board.
Or just package them both to move up to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe-
but they
maybe-
don't want to
maybe
do that.
5. Maybe Golden State wants 2 young
Sure.
players.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they want to. Yeah, but they want to say that they're not rebuilding because they don't think they are. They're trying not to. And what this is just going to do is it's going to make it really easy to force the team to let's say experience a change of scenery in the
Yeah,
future if the league comes to that.
Yeah, the only way this strategy works is if you are a destination for free agents, and that's not the case.
No, I mean
I'm
they
pretty
might
sure
not be a
too-
destination for any WNBA players.
Yeah, college players too. Like their plan should be okay. Let's trade at least one of these players. Keep one, fine. Then you core them. You trade them in the offseason. Keep at least one. But if you have 2 of them, you can't core both players and trade them. You're gonna lose one of them for nothing. They're not gonna come
course
back
not.
next. So you 2-year tank for the best odds in 2027, but they're not doing that.
I mean, also we've
They-
already seen what the value of these players is on a max contract around
Right.
the league. Like it's harder to move them.
Yep.
So let's get to our second ad break, then talk about some other news that we've seen over the last week across the sport. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. $300 in bonus bets to keep the action going. That's FanDuel to get easy to navigate, and the variety of bets keeps every game exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. Nobody around for your winnings. Whether you're betting on your favorite team or you're looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, to kick off segment 3, any thoughts? What have you seen over the last week across the sport? We have seen some marginal moves. Lele Khan is signed. We also Carl Late signed. So both of the French prospects from last year's draft are in the W. Any other offseason signings? Isabel Harrison is a New York Liberty.
Woohoo! Fifth string big on the roster. She's
Maybe
going to
that's why
play
they-
real
maybe that's
minutes.
what
She is going to play real minutes.
Yep.
Shout out backstream reporting from Jackie Powell. She's going to play real minutes when Euros come and half the roster goes back
yeah,
to
good
Europe
point.
to play. And yeah, maybe they just cut her after that. I mean, we'll see. She was
Yeah.
Look. The argument for any impact here is she's literally the number 5 big on the depth chart. And if you have a competent, playable person for even like 3 minutes a night at that position, that's pretty good. She was objectively terrible in Chicago last year, but if you want to say she was a year removed from injury, so now you can expect a little bit better, that's an argument you can make. It's not a terrible one.
31, turning 32 during this season. 3 seasons missed with injuries, coming off the worst scoring season of her career. It's a warm body.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than signing Caitlin Pickle.
Yeah. Interesting thing to me, the Mystics have still only signed one player that was not in their organization last year. They have 11
Are they doing
players
Juche?
on the roster. They have 11 players on the roster right now, plus the 4th pick. That might just be their roster.
They have 6 too.
I can't believe I couldn't make you laugh at that joke.
I was too locked in on thinking about Shug Sutton and the 4th pick to be aware of your Juche joke.
Thank you.
Yeah. Aaliyah Edwards is interesting. They have interesting talent. It feels like
I'm gonna have a lot more fun. I'm gonna have a lot more reason to watch this team, at least in the first couple months, than I am like Connecticut and Golden State.
I'm gonna be watching Golden State with Salon late.
Yeah,
They
you
got-
are a francophile.
Well, he might not be the biggest francophile on this call anymore.
Okay. It really feels like
That's a joke for 2 people who are in our group chat.
it really feels like one of Slim or Atkins could be on the move for like picks and young talent, or both. Like,
You would think.
I don't understand
yeah.
what the Mystics are doing. Why would you not just sell high?
Well, they were like training their general manager
'Cause
for
they
like the
are-
first month for free agency. They were training or something.
Yeah, Jamila Weidman didn't join the team until like the middle of February because she was finishing up her responsibilities with the NBA. I'm not sure what the plan is.
They're not as bad as Connecticut, but if they just stay put and keep all 3 of these veterans, I don't get it.
I mean, like, I'm looking at the depth chart. This is like, just look at the depth chart. This is the kind of roster that would be a really, like, plucky 6 seed, like 6 years ago. I'm not saying with the names on the roster, just given the vibes. Like 6 years ago, this is the quality of team that would be like a plucky little 6 seed. But the talent distribution in this league has become such that this is not that anymore. This is either a flailing like 8-9 or it's a 10.
Well, and also 3 of the best players on this roster have really struggled to stay healthy over the last 2 or 3 years. So, if you're only getting, 22 games out of Shakira Austin and 30 games out of Atkins and Samuelson, it's not like you're running out of bodies real quick.
Starting small forward Sika Kone.
Hey, we'll
Yeah.
see what Jade has. Didn't she drop like 41 or something like that? Crazy.
Yeah, Jade had in the last week of the WNBL regular season, I think 41, 10, and 7. Led
Pretty good.
the entire WNBL in assists this season. Good player. Bless you again.
Thank you. I can't really explain it, but like literally just looking at this team, like obviously Golden State is made up almost entirely of just like EuroLeague players.
What's gonna
But,
happen
like-
whenever it's Euro?
I know, but like right behind them, this feels most of these players, like basically none of these players play Euro, but it feels like a very Euro team. This feels like the third best team in France. This feels like the number 2 in Spain. Just look at this.
Yeah, just throw in like a Carrera and like a 19-year-old Spanish shooter, and this could be playing in LF Endesa next week.
Is there anything else we missed?
Katie Lou is now a Seattle Storm again.
Again?
She's finally breaking her curse of playing for a different team every year. This is the first time in her career that she's played a second year with a team.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she's played 5 seasons with 5 different teams. Because she started, got drafted, got traded, traded again, signed as a free agent, got traded again, signed as a free agent, cut,
Can't stay
signed as a
anywhere.
free agent.
She's still 27. It's
for-
crazy.
She played for Dallas, Seattle,
Chicago.
Los Angeles, Chicago, Indiana, and now
and
back
now
to
Seattle.
Seattle. So
This also means that she's going to be their 6th woman.
Oh, God.
she's kind of just the Jordan
That's
Horston
impressive.
replacement.
Similar players.
I mean, same
it's the
same
position.
positions,
Yeah.
completely different archetype, way worse.
Totally different style of play, but it's filling that role, which kind of works because Gabby kind of does all the things that you're asking Horston
Well,
to
it
do,
doesn't
but
work
little
because
bit
she's not a
better.
good shooter.
Yeah, she's not even- she
The
can't shoot
idea of Katie Lou works with this roster.
The idea of Katie Lou, our boss, once mocked number 1 in the draft.
Yeah,
Katie's,
like
she's
if
never
you
shot
play her at the 4
36%
next to
from-
Ezzy. Play her at the 4
They
next to
already
Ezzy.
tried that. I covered that
Do
season.
it again.
I
Ezzy's
watched
better
them
not gonna
now.
work.
from the sideline. It doesn't work.
Ezzy's better now.
Well, sure, Katie Lou isn't.
She's
Maybe
worse. It
Olivia
evens
Miles
out.
can unlock-
Everyone else in this lineup is worse than it was back then. She had Stewie.
Is Olivia Miles better than 40-year-old Sue?
Lincoln, would you
Are
keep
they going to
Stewie
get
or
Olivia
would-
Miles?
Lincoln, if you're Vegas, would you go after Stewie?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The name of the game is talent acquisition.
Yes, but what if you're in a very specific online exercise posted to YouTube?
Well, then I'm not, so that's not my problem.
Thanks for making Let's Wins Basketball your first listen every day. Join us back next week for us to rank every single team in college basketball. Some homework for us over the weekend to get to. Anyways, have a great rest of your weekend, everyone.